me with their mouth and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
There you go. Not to be confused with the commandments of Yah. Because everything that Yah said came from Yah. Everything that man say come from man. So we going back to what we just read. Man will do what? He will bewitch you. Right? What was that definition for bewitch? Fascinate you. False misrepresentation. Right. That's the commandments of men. The doctrines and commandments of men is fascinating people with the misrepresentation of Yah's truth. Right? It's like you're in a trance. And somebody can show you a truth in the scriptures, but you won't hear it because you're in a trance. Fascinated. Wow. Did you hear the way he said that? Wow. That's awesome. You're fascinated. But the words say this. No, but my pastor, boy, he got the anointing on him. He's an anointed man of God. Yeah, but the book said, never mind that. I believe in my pastor, right? So how is it that he said this people draw nigh with their mouth? So to see what's going on here, let's go back to Isaiah or Yoshiyahu, chapter 29. We're going to go back a little bit here. This is good right here. Okay. Let's go. Where do I want to start here? Start at verse 1. Start at verse 1. Okay. All right, go ahead. Yoshiyahu or Isaiah chapter 29, verse 1.
Woe to Ariel, the city where Dawid dwelt. Add ye year to year, let them kill sacrifices.
So what's so we say woe? What does woe mean? Not a good thing, right? All right, go ahead. He said, let them kill sacrifices. Okay, go ahead.
Yet I will distress Ariel, and there shall be heaviness and sorrow, and it shall be unto me as Ariel. And I will camp against thee round about, and will lay siege against thee with a mount, and I will raise forts against thee. And thou shalt be brought down, and shalt speak out of the ground, and thy speech shall be low out of the dust. And thy voice shall be as one that hath a familiar spirit.
What?
Out of the ground, and thy speech shall whisper out of the dust. Moreover, the multitude of thy strangers shall be like small dust, and the multitude of terrible ones shall be as chaff that passeth away. Yea, it shall be at an instant, suddenly. Verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of Yah of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. And the multitude of all the nations that fight against Ariel, even all that fight against her and her munition and that distress her, shall be as a dream of a night vision. It shall even be as when an hungry man dreameth, and behold, he eateth, but he awaketh, and his soul is empty. Or as when a thirsty man dreameth, and behold, he drinketh, but he awaketh, and his soul is faint, and his soul hath appetite. So shall the multitude of all the nations be that fight against Mount Zion. Stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. Verse 10.
Okay.
For Yah hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, have he covered. and the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I am not learned. Wherefore Yah saith, For as much as this people draw near me with their mouth and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men.
That's good. So that's what Yahshua was talking about. They teaching you, but it's a mystery to them. So this is how I learn it. So that's what they're gonna teach it to you how they learn it. It's all wrong, but
Humble enough to.
Well, here's the thing. It said Yah had poured out the spirit of deep sleep. Why? Why did he pour out the spirit of deep sleep on these shepherds? We can go all day long talk about the shepherds. Huh?
Kindness in part. What I would have done.
What does Shaul say about that? For they that hold the righteousness of Yah in unrighteousness, he said, I will turn them over to a reprobated mind. Right? Because they don't want to hear the truth. So since they don't want to hear the truth, I'm going to turn them over to a reprobated mind. Right? I'm going to blind their eyes. Right? I'm going to close their ears. Right? Hearing they won't be able to hear. Seeing they won't be able to see. Right? So that's what Yahshua is saying. These people honor me with their lips, but they're disobedient. The life stinks. They might sound good. Somewhere one of the prophets says about a melodious sound. Was that Yoshiyahu? I'm not going to go there. Let me see. Hold on a second.
I wouldn't want to be in their shoes. I mean, in generations past, you could get away with teaching those things. But now, knowledge is running to and fro, rampant in the earth. People are confronting you on those lies.
I can't say how you spell melodious.
Melodious, I believe. Melodious, I believe.
Melodious. Okay, I'm gonna let it go. I heard that in my spirit, so it's one of the prophets. I might be missing it. Let's see something. Hold on a second.
You gotta find it because I don't believe it's in there. You gotta find it now.
A melodious sound in the Bible. Okay, it says Psalms. It says Psalms.
You gotta take off the plus sign.
It says Psalms 98 and 5.
Okay, it might be in Psalms.
Let me see. Let's say Psalms 98 and 5. Let's see, what is that? No, that's not it. That's not. That's what I'm saying. Where is melodious in the Bible? This is 3 instances. Psalms 81. That was Psalm 98 and 5. Okay, so that's not okay. Psalm 81 and 2. Let's see what it's not coming up.
I'm spelling it.
Okay. Maybe it might be different. It might be a different version. That's okay. I think it's
the King James
International Scripture Version. Isaiah 51 and 3. This says Isaiah 51 and 3. 51.
Anybody?
Okay, so this might be. Let me see. For Yah shall comfort Zion. He will comfort all her waste places. He will make her wilderness like Eden, her desert like the garden of Yah. And joy and gladness shall be found there in thanksgiving and the voice of melody. Okay. All right. That's not what I was looking for. I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, so going back to Galatians 3, it'll come back to me. Whatever it was, that wasn't it. We get off the live stream. It's gonna all come back to me if it don't before. It usually works that way, but that might have been for me. Okay, so the works of the law is talking about the sacrificial slaying of animals. So we clear on that, right? So you cannot receive the spiritual fruit of the spirit by killing an animal. But it comes from practicing, right? Praso, right? Repetitively doing Yah's word, right?
I see why people would misinterpret that or not see that to mean pertaining to the animals.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else really in the
right. Well, I mean, the key word is works. Mm-hmm. So the word for works is to toil, by implication, a deed, right? So then you have to go back to Tanakh to see that offering the sacrifices was a service, which is a work, right?
Definitely work involved in that. If
you saw how they slaughtered animals on a day-to-day basis, you'd be like, ooh, those guys got to be tired. That's work. Mm-hmm. It's toil. Okay, so that's that toil. That's that work, right?
And before I looked at that, you could gather that is, as I said, it sounded like labor.
Yes. I mean, to do the right thing, that's not labor.
That's right. That's why I was like,
you just make a decision. Okay, I'm not going to gossip today. I'm not going to be a talebearer. Did you know talebearer was breaking Torah? Did you know that? Okay, we can come back. Since I mentioned that, I'm going to show it to you, right? Leviticus 19:16. Somebody write this note down. It's time for Israelites to stop gossiping because you're breaking Torah. So some people got come off of Facebook because Facebook has got you being a talebearer. Brother, why are you meddling in my business? All right, here we go. Let's bring it to you. All right, Leviticus 19:16, right? You gonna read it? Let me read it. Thou shalt not go up and down as a who? Talebearer. What's a talebearer? A scandal monger as traveling about, right?
Scandal monger.
To travel or trading. Girl, did you hear what happened?
Right a bone.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor, for I am Yah. Isn't that something? So we learned something, right? Okay, since we're there, let's look at these one here. This here. Proverbs says, talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is faithful in spirit concealeth the matter. The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. He that goeth about as a talebearer revealeth secrets, therefore meddle not with him that flattereth with his lips. Where no wood is, there fire goes out. So where there is no talebearer, the strife cease. The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. Right. So that's practicality from the book of the law. Stop telling tales. That's what a talebearer is. A person who tells tales. It's a thin line between a talebearer and a newscaster. They get paid to tell people things that's going on. Did you hear this? He got divorced again. Talebearer, right? All right. So now let's go back to Galatians 3. All right. So now we know that this works of the law is talking about the law of sacrificing of animals. So now that we know that this is talking about sacrificing animals, this whole chapter is going to take on a whole new meaning now. Right? So with that in mind, let's continue reading now. Okay, verse 3.
Are ye so foolish, having begun in the spirit, are you now made perfect by the flesh? Have you suffered so many things in vain, if it be yet in vain? He therefore that ministereth to you the Spirit, and worketh miracles among you, doeth he it by works of the law, or by the hearing of faith?
Now stop. So I want to deal with this hearing of faith, right? So we dealt with works of the law. Okay. So we need to look at this word because we saw it in verse 2. Hearing, right, is the word ako. Hear, the act, the sense, or a thing heard, right? Hear. Okay. Now, in the Greek, you don't get the true meaning, but Shaul, being a doctor of the law, knew that hearing is the Hebrew word. We read this earlier at the beginning of the stream, right? When he said, if you will obey my voice indeed. The word is shama, to hear intelligently. See, to hear intelligently. So hear intelligently, right? That's what he said. If you will obey my voice indeed. Obey means to hear intelligently in the reciprocal of hearing unintelligently. So we go back to Galatians. That's what Shaul was saying when he said hearing, right, of faith. Now, of course, we got the Greek. Okay. So we got to remember that the Hebrews spoke Hebrew, not Greek. So when you study the law of Yah,